All right, so in case you've never seen a ventriloquist or you just enjoy watching them, hopefully you enjoyed that video and you got to see how compelling it really is. It's hard not to look at the dummy and start to come to the conclusion that the dummy is the one who's actually making the sound, right? That's because our vision is so powerful and it governs our perception so much that we rely on it first and foremost. Another good example of visual capture is, if we see some kind of food that's colored the wrong color, let's say green eggs or something like that, we have an expectation that that's not going to taste good. Even though the only thing that made the eggs green is the addition of some dye, and we know the dye is tasteless, we'll see it and think, I don't think so, because it looks wrong. We have an expectation of taste based on color. So if we see something, a type of candy that's red, our first assumption is that it's probably going to be some kind of fruit, right? And that it'll taste like strawberry or watermelon or cherry or something like that. Our backup plan might be that it might be cinnamon, depending on what the candy is. Like if you're confronted with a Jolly Rancher, you better be open to the possibility that it's cinnamon, right? But if you see a red candy, you have an expectation that it's going to have a certain flavor. And if it doesn't have that flavor, it can be quite startling. Skittles went through a period where they had a mystery flavor in their bag. And it was white and you were supposed to figure out what the flavor was. And it was actually pretty hard because honestly, fruit flavors are predominantly ascorbic acid, right? Just, like sort of the same kind of acid that makes lemons taste like lemons and stuff. So it's basically, got the sour component and then a bunch of sweet, right? And then the taste of the candy really comes from the odor, right? So it smells like strawberry or it smells like cherry or it smells like cinnamon. Now cinnamon has an additional component where you can feel it on your tongue, right? Because it's hot. But it's tricky to try and identify candy if you're not, candy that could be any of these flavors that I'm discussing. If you've got no warning about what it's supposed to be, if it's just white, you're like, I don't know what this is. Our expectation helps us to actually interpret the sensations that are being picked up by our tongue and our nose and so on. Another example of visual capture is illustrated with the rubber hand illusion. This is a great one where, you can convince a person that they're actually feeling stimulation when it's actually occurring on a rubber hand. So in order to make this make more sense, I want you to watch this video and see how the rubber hand illusion works. And then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about that afterwards.